why your rental property will lose money every single year, and why you should be happy about it. That's what we're going to discuss in this video. Let's get into it. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here, or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below. Thank you, I truly do appreciate it. Let's get into it and discuss why it is super cool to lose a bunch of money every year. No, I'm kidding. It's not really cool to lose money, but when it comes to rental real estate and investment properties, it is actually really cool to lose a bunch of money every year. So let's get into it and talk about it, even though this is very counterintuitive to what most people think when it pertains to investments. Most people think when you invest, you should be making a lot of money every year. Well, that's actually true. But when it comes to rental real estate or investment properties, you should absolutely be losing money and super happy about it every single year. All right, let's get into it and talk about it, because I'm guessing at this point you're probably scratching your head thinking, this dude just lost his mind, because on one hand, he's talking about making money, and on the other hand, he's talking about losing money and apparently being happy about it. I don't get it. I'm confused. What's the catch here? So let's talk through this. All right, so just a short time ago, I was out in a separate video talking about all of the different expenses that you get to write off as a result of your rental property or investment property, otherwise known as a business. By the way, if you own a rental property or an investment property, you are a business owner. Rental properties are a business. Therefore, you're a business owner and you get to write off all associated expenses with your business against your business income, okay? So you need to know that stuff. Most people that own rental properties just say, it's a rental, I'm not a business owner. Well, newsflash, you're actually a business owner. So just accept the title. You're a business owner if you own rental real estate. All right, rental real estate is a business. Anyway, let's talk through the list. All right, so in the video just a short time ago, I talked about all those expenses that you can write off as a result of owning rental real estate. I'm not going to go through the whole list and all the examples in this video, but I do want to run through some of the basics of the list of all the different things that you get to write off, and then we're going to talk about why it is super cool to lose a bunch of money every single year on your rentals. Trust me, it's actually pretty cool. Anyway, let's talk through this list really quick of all these different write-offs, and then we'll talk about why all of this pertains to losing money. All right, so really quickly, I'm not going to go through examples. I'm just going to kind of run down the list. Cleaning and maintenance. Again, you need to clean the property, maintain the property. You can write all of those expenses off. Advertising, to find tenants or whatever kind of advertising you may do, you can write all of that off. Legal and professional, accountants, maybe attorneys, things like this, write it all off. You have other expenses like commissions, again, write it off. Management, if you have a manager who actually oversees your properties, again, write it all off. You have utility expenses, write it off. Property taxes, supplies, maintenance, you have repairs, you have other expenses, property taxes, association dues, rental license, inspection, all of it. Other expenses, write it all off. All of that can be written off against your rental income. Now again, that is not even a comprehensive list. That is just a very simple list that we ran through right there. We can always come back and talk about a far more comprehensive list as far as everything that you can write off against your rental business. All right, so let's now talk about why it is so cool to be able to write all that stuff off, plus why you should be awesome and lose a bunch of money on your rental properties. Now again, I am not advising you on what to do. This is not financial advice. It's not accounting advice. It is not any advice in any way at all. I'm just a guy here on YouTube that makes too many videos every day, and I just talk to the camera all day because I don't have any friends. So again, I am certainly not a person to take advice from. I'm just a guy with too much knowledge and too much time on my hands, apparently. Anyway, let's talk through this a little bit further now. So let me give you a quick example, and then we can talk about why you can take all these expenses against your rental income and then what it means when you lose money. So let's just say that you buy a new house for $200,000. Congratulations, not bad. Your intentions are to use this as a rental property. You buy it for $200,000 and you want to place a tenant in there and charge $1,000 per month in rent. Now again, I'm just making up numbers as we go here, so nothing is solid here. But anyway, I'm just kind of making stuff up as we go. So there's one thing that you can do in addition to all the expenses for your business, like we just ran through that list there. In addition to writing off all of those expenses, you can also depreciate the property every single year. As a residential property, you can depreciate it over 27 and a half years. Now, you cannot depreciate the land that the building sits on, but you can actually depreciate the building. So let's just say in this example, you buy the property for $200,000. The building is actually worth, let's just say, $160,000. So in general, you would be applying about a 20% allocation for the land. In this case, we're allocating 20%, $40,000 for the land, which brings the building value down to about $160,000. Again, talk to your accountant about that. That is not like a steadfast rule. It's just talk to your accountant. They're the best person to advise you on all this. I am not your accountant. All right, anyway. So you have $160,000 here of depreciable building value that you can depreciate over 100 or over 27.5 years. Now, again, you'd want to talk to your accountant about this to get the calculation correct, but in addition to all the expenses that you just had, you can now depreciate the property on top of that. Well, in accordance with about a $160,000 property, you'd probably be depreciating about $5,000 a year. Thereabouts. About $5,000 a year you would be depreciating against all of your rental income. So now, let me run through an example of what this actually looks like. All right, so let's say you have a tenant in the property and you're renting it out for $1,000 every single month. Over the course of 1 year, you're collecting $12,000 in rents received. Congratulations, not a bad income, right? $12,000 from one house. Pretty cool. All right. So now that you have your $12,000, that is your gross receipts, right? Your gross rental income. Now we need to minus off all of your expenses. Let's just say that you have $1,000 in repairs. Okay, $1,000 you get to minus off of your $12,000 of gross receipts. Let's just say you have property taxes, another $2,000 that you pay out in property taxes each and every year. Now you've just reduced your income by another $2,000 down to $9,000. Let's just say that you hired somebody to find you a tenant to fill your property. Again, they're going to take your first month's rent, which is $1,000. You've just reduced your income by another $1,000 down to $8,000 from the $12,000. Okay, cool. Let's say that you go on and you have an accountant, you have an attorney, you have a manager, you go on and you buy a bunch of supplies for the property, you have some utility expenses, you clean the property, and you have a variety of other expenses, including mileage, for a total of an additional $5,000 of expenses. Pretty cool stuff. Okay, so now your income is sitting at $8,000 because of all the other expenses, and now you reduce it by an additional $5,000, bringing your income down to $3,000. Oh, wah, you lost all your money. Well, not really, because you've spent all that money on repairs, maintenance, you've maintained the property, you've hired somebody to place a tenant, all of these things, and it is regular business expenses. So, nothing to be sad about. You're investing that money back into the property. Okay, fine. Good. So now you're sitting with a profit of $3,000. It's not looking so hot anymore, right? Oh man, this rental property is sure going south on me really fast, right? Well, not really. Seriously, you're still making $3,000. So here's the thing. Now you get to apply depreciation against your income. Once again, about the roughly $5,000 in this example, you get to take that $5,000 and apply it against your rental income, which is sitting at $3,000 at this time. Uh-oh, now you're negative. $3,000 minus $5,000 in my head turns out to negative $2,000. Oh man, you've just lost money. Now what? Your rental business is failing. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. I've got to sell it right away, right? No, this is a phantom loss. This is a phantom loss on paper as a result of depreciation, so therefore it is not a real loss, but rather it is a paper loss. So yes, indeed, you have just lost money in the eyes of the IRS, but yet in your pocket, you still got $3,000 chilling out in your pocket that you can go spend on cookies, donuts, and race cars. I don't think so. Probably not a race car, but maybe you could. I don't know. Anyway, so now you are showing a $2,000 loss against your property, but in actuality, you actually made $3,000. but on paper, you're showing a loss of $2,000 because you have applied the depreciation against the property. Now, you can continue doing this every single year for 27 and a half years on that property. You can continue to depreciate it until all of the dollars are depreciated out. At that time, typically, way before that, you typically see a lot of people who sell the property or 1031 exchange the property into a different one so they can start depreciating once again. Because once the depreciation runs out, well, then you've got $3,000 of income that you need to pay taxes on. Well, who wants to pay taxes on $3,000, right? Nobody wants to pay more taxes than they have to. But again, you have to pay it because it's the law. You have to pay your taxes, right? But anyway, so this is why rental real estate pretty much loses money every single year, because as you collect your rental income, your income is offset by all of your expenses on the property. All of your expenses flow down to the bottom line, and then you apply your depreciation, and then boom, you're negative and you're happy. Because the cool thing about a negative income on rental real estate, again, this is a very complex topic, but generally speaking, if your income is below $150,000, you can actually take that loss against your rental properties and you can apply it against your earned income. Whoa, that is the gravy train leaving the station right there. Seriously. When you can apply your losses against your rental properties against your earned income, now you're cooking with gas. Yeah, this stuff is really good right here. So again, we need to make a dedicated video talking about this one. This is actually a really good topic right here, and it is its own video right there alone. So we'll have to come back and follow up with that, but seriously, when it comes to rental real estate, it can be incredibly powerful simply because you can offset essentially all of your rental income with all of your expenses and depreciation, therefore giving you a loss on paper that you can carry forward and offset other incomes. Therefore, it is like the double whammy, where you can come in, offset all your income, and offset even more income with your negatives, right? So, when it comes to rental real estate investing, it is awesome to be a loser. Seriously, if you're a loser in rental real estate, you should probably be pretty happy, right? So anyway, hope this makes sense, and I hope you were able to get a little bit of entertainment / laughs / whatever you want out of this video, but I wanted to help you out with this, kind of share the whole idea behind rental real estate and why it can be so incredibly powerful, simply because you're offsetting all of your expenses, right? Just like a business. What do businesses do? They do the same thing. Have you ever heard of a business? Have you ever gone into a very successful business? Just a quick side note. You go into a successful business, and all of a sudden you see things are cooking really good, they're making a boatload of money, and all of a sudden you come in one day, and they all of a sudden have all new stuff, new furniture, new equipment, new everything, and you think, wow, they've really dropped a lot of cash. Why do you think they did that? Because they want to depreciate everything. They're making way too much money, and they need to buy new stuff so they can depreciate it so they don't have to pay taxes. That's why they do it. Yeah, so anyway, we can talk about that in a different video, but that's exactly why businesses do this, because when they're making a boatload of money, they need to spend the money to get that depreciation expense so they don't need to pay more in taxes. At the same time, they're getting a bunch of brand new shiny stuff, and they're writing it all off. Therefore, they're not paying taxes and all that, right? So anyway, cool stuff. Anyway, hope this helps you out. Subscribe down below, share this video with your friends, family, social media, and I hope this one helps you out in any way possible. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Enjoy your day, and I hope you can subscribe right down below. And again, I'll see you in the next video.